Alright, so now that Incredibles 2 is now almost here, time for a quick review of the original Incredibles. Oh yeah. So as for plot, I just like to think of the Incredibles as, you know, a family of superheroes who form a team and slash family, so it's almost a family movie where the family also just happens to be superheroes. So to start off with characters, well, they're all great. They're just great. To start off, Mr. Incredible, he's good as a character who's wanting to recreate the OG days as a superhero. And I love the scenes when you get to see his incredible strength. Get it? Okay, I'll stop. Elastigirl, they totally nailed her as what it would be like if a mom had superpowers. And she suspects Bob is trying to recreate superhero life, which is kind of ironic because it looks like she's doing an exact similar thing in the sequel. Basically, it looks like the second one's going to be similar to the first one, but in reverse, but we'll see. And then the kids, Violet and Dash. Dash, he almost seems like a young Flash. I did not even mean for that to rhyme, but yeah, he almost seems like a young 10-year-old Flash, like what would be like if Flash was a young 10-year-old, and he wants to show off his powers, but he's not allowed to. And Violet is also good as a shy teenager who can be invisible, almost like a young invisible woman, you could say. And that power really describes how she is throughout the movie. And like Dash, she struggles with her powers, only she wants to be normal, but she's not. And I just love Jack. Jack, probably one of my favorite characters in the movie, and funny that most of the movie he just seems like a normal baby until his powers are finally revealed, and he's just funny. And I heard that he's the best part of the second movie, so looking forward to that. Then Frozone, he's as cool as ice. Sorry. But come on, he kind of knew how to make some pun of some sort like that. And Samuel Jackson does a great job playing him, so I would say Frozone is the ice addition to the great cast of characters. Oh, come on, guys, don't be so cold. Okay, maybe enough with the ice puns. And one character you guys may have forgot about, Rick Dicker, but the character itself is okay as like a government agent who's trying to keep an eye on Mr. Incredible from, you know, doing superhero things. I really just like him because he's played by legendary animator Bud Lucky. He animated for Sesame Street back in the day. And he was even the designer of Woody back in Toy Story. And also, fun fact, there's even a monster in Monsters, Inc. that's named after him. Sadly, he passed away earlier this year, but his legacy still lives on. Rest in peace, Bud. Kari. Kari is hilarious as the babysitter that you see vaguely who Dash and Violet leave to watch Jack, and she has a little smaller of a role in the movie, but she gets way funnier in the short Jack attack. And I wonder if her Mozart theory is true. We don't know. Syndrome. Syndrome, I feel, is a good villain, and also is almost a sympathetic villain too, since you get to see him being rejected by Mr. Incredible. And man, I almost feel kind of bad for him when he dies at the end. Of course, I always wonder, like seriously, what's the chance that a kid that you rejected would come back as a super villain and super rich to come and get you? I don't know. Then one of my favorite characters in the movie, Edna Mode, who makes superheroes costumes and supposedly made costumes also for gods, even though I don't know what that means, but yeah, she's super funny, and what else should I say about her besides also this? No capes.
No capes.
And then favorite parts? Oh boy, where do I even begin? Like, I love like every minute of just like the first 30 minutes or so, or 15 minutes, where like they don't even start out maybe with a cliche superhero movie. It just starts out with a little something different, where superheroes are just talking about being superheroes, almost in a documentary kind of way, and then it jumps to the typical opening, and the opening is great with Mr. Incredible's car and get some James Bond type of stuff in there. And then you get some typical superhero stuff in there as well. And of course, Bob is doing all this while he's still trying to make sure he's on time for the wedding. And also that first encounter Syndrome. It's also interesting that they don't introduce him until like 40 minutes into the movie. And the scene was a very good introduction of him as well. Bob versus Robot fight scene is definitely decent. It is definitely a classic Incredibles fight scene. And the missile lock scene is also really a great scene because it's so intense. And also, if you think about it, in that scene, it shows that Syndrome is not afraid to kill children, so that's interesting. I guess that's what makes it intense. And also, like, get to see the kids nervous about using their powers, especially Violet. And also, the 100-yard dash scene is also another scene that is a classic Incredibles scene where, like, you know, like if you think of Incredibles, it's probably one of the scenes you would think of. It's also interesting that he's running on water, which I'm not exactly sure if that's possible, but it's cool. And I also like that little montage of Bob. I like the music in that montage. And also I love the dinner scene because it almost shows like what a family dinner would be like if the family had superpowers, and it's hilarious. And of course the final battle with the entire Incredibles family and Syndrome versus the Droid robot, and that's really seen when they finally get to be a team. And in that scene you get to see them using teamwork to defeat the robot. They killed him dead. And that scene where Syndrome's trying to kidnap Jack, but his powers are revealed. It's just kind of funny also. Jack reveals his powers. And nearly beats the snot out of Syndrome. And I'm just going to stop now because it's really, I can go on and on and on. It's really, there's so many great scenes in this movie. That's all I gotta say. And then different messages and themes in the movie. Family, because basically this entire movie is almost a family movie, but the family members just happen to have superpowers. Teamwork, because the family gets to work together using teamwork in the final battle, really, by stopping the Droid. How you treat others, showing what happens after Miss Incredible mistreated Syndrome as a kid. And Violet got to learn a little bit of courage with her powers and all. And I guess some other themes, don't wear capes, I guess. And yeah, etc. But yeah, in conclusion, it's definitely a good animated movie, and so even for an animated movie, it even does at times discuss some mature themes, and Syndrome is a villain, turns heroes, and is willing to do anything to get the job he wants to get done. And love that the Incredibles team is a literal family, and they definitely feel like a family, and they work together and watch out for each other. And there's some good and memorable characters in there. The movie itself, like I've been saying, really feels like a family movie as a superhero movie. And for the superhero side of things, they really nail all of that too. Some good action sequences, etc. And it's definitely one of the most solid superhero movies. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most solid superhero movies, and only complaints would be that it was one of the first animated movies to star animated humans, and before that the humans just looked a little bit more creepy. And the movie is mostly well animated, the humans look great, and I think there's only a few shots where they suffer from the creepy effect, but thankfully not very much. And there's some scenes I like more than others, and this sense is one of Pixar's longest movies. Some parts, like, they do get a little long, they slow down a little bit, but thankfully they do pick back up later, so. And as for the family side of things, there is still the typical superhero action, and the family members could get a little deceitful with each other sometimes, which, yeah, that could become a problem. But overall, it is definitely by far one of my favorite Pixar movies, and one of my favorite superhero movies. Good action scenes, memorable characters, and overall a great animated movie, and a great superhero flick, and probably one of the best of all time. And I'm going to give The Incredibles a B for family friendliness, but as for a movie in itself, it definitely deserves an A-. Very close to an A+. So to sum these up, I guess you could say that this movie is very incredible. So what do you guys think of The Incredibles, and are you excited for the upcoming Incredibles 2? Comment down below and let me know, and you know the drill. Subscribe, and thank you to all you subscribers, because it really helps my channel to grow, and I really appreciate you guys. And that's it for this video. So I'll see you guys hopefully in another video. Bye guys.
Honey? What? Where's my super suit? What? Where is my super suit? By the way. Where? Why do you need to know? I need it. Don't you think about running off and doing no daring do? We've been planning this dinner for 2 months. The public is in danger. My evening's in danger. You tell me what my suit is, woman. We are talking about the greater good. Greater good? I am your wife. I'm the greatest good you are ever gonna get.